The side of the war they rarely tell. When the guns of the Nigerian Civil War thundered across the East in 1967, the story the world learned was simple: Biafra versus Nigeria. But history is rarely that clean. Hidden beneath the official lines was a dangerous truth. Some Yoruba sons crossed ethnic borders and stood shoulder to shoulder with Biafran soldiers, not for tribe but for principle. Their names were later buried, their choices silenced, and their fate left deliberately unresolved. Before we dive into the main story, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell notification button for more interesting video like this. The Nigerian Civil War, 1967 to 1970. A brief context. The Biafra War was born from deep fractures in post-colonial Nigeria, military coups, ethnic massacres, especially against Easterners in the north, political betrayal, and a collapsing trust in the idea of a united nation. On May 30, 1967, Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu declared the eastern region an independent state, the Republic of Biafra. What followed was a brutal 30-month war marked by starvation, blockades, air raids, and over 1 million civilian deaths, most of them children. But inside this eastern-led resistance were non-Igbo allies, including Yoruba officers and intellectuals who believed the war was not just ethnic, but moral. Contrary to popular belief, Yoruba society was not monolithic during the war. While the western region officially remained within Nigeria, individual Yoruba figures openly opposed the federal military direction, especially after the 1966 countercoup, the murder of General Johnson Igiaransi, the assassination of Lieutenant Colonel Adekunle Fajuyi, the military governor of Western Region, who refused to hand Iransi over to northern mutineers. For some Yoruba elites, these events proved Nigeria was no longer operating on justice, but on selective power. Victor Banjo, the Yoruba general of Biafra. The most powerful and undeniable example is Colonel Victor Banjo, a Yoruba from Ibadan. Who was Victor Banjo? A highly trained Nigerian army officer. Veteran of UN peacekeeping missions in the Congo. Charismatic, brilliant, and politically radical. When Biafra declared independence, Banjo defected to Biafra and became Chief of Staff of the Biafran Army. One of Ojukwu's most trusted early commanders. His role in the war. Banjo led the famous Midwest Offensive of 1967, where Biafran forces advanced deep into the Midwestern region, present-day Edo/Delta. His strategy shocked Nigeria and nearly altered the course of the war. But Banjo was not fighting for Igbo supremacy. He openly argued, "This war must not replace one injustice with another." His tragic end. Banjo clashed with hardliners within the Biafran command. Accused of plotting a coup against Ojukwu and negotiating with federal forces, he was arrested, tried, and executed by firing squad in 1967. To this day historians debate, was Banjo a traitor? Or a Yoruba patriot trapped inside an ethnic war he tried to morally redirect? His death remains one of the darkest internal wounds of Biafra. Wole Soyinka, the war without a gun. Not all battles were fought with rifles. Professor Wole Soyinka, a Yoruba intellectual and later Nobel laureate, played a dangerous behind-the-scenes role. What did Soyinka do? Secretly attempted to broker peace between Biafra and the federal government. Advocated a third force, neither Biafra nor Lagos but justice and dialogue. Publicly criticized ethnic violence and state propaganda. The consequence? The Nigerian federal government accused him of aiding Biafra. He was arrested in 1967 and held in solitary confinement for nearly 2 years, much of it in near total isolation. Soyinka later documented this ordeal in The Man Died, exposing how truth itself became a casualty of war. Lesser-known Yoruba presence in Biafra. Beyond famous names, evidence points to Yoruba officers and technicians who defected quietly. Medical personnel and pilots motivated by humanitarian outrage. Western Nigerians who saw the blockade and mass starvation as genocide, not strategy. Many of these individuals were erased from records, forced into silence after 1970, branded traitors if they spoke. Their stories survive mostly in fragments, letters, and oral testimonies. Though limited in number, the impact was significant. It shattered the myth that the war was purely ethnic. It exposed deep ideological divisions within Nigeria. It proved that national unity, when forced, creates rebels of conscience. It complicated post-war reconciliation, because some truths were too dangerous to acknowledge. After the war, Nigeria adopted the slogan, "No victor, no vanquished." But men like Victor Banjo were neither forgiven nor remembered. Today, Nigeria teaches the Biafra War as a closed chapter. But one question still hangs unanswered. What if the alliances of conscience, Yoruba, Igbo minority voices, had grown stronger than ethnic loyalty? Would Nigeria have been forced to reform, or would the country have broken entirely? Victor Banjo died before that answer could be tested. Wole Soyinka survived, but was silenced. And the rest were erased. History moved on. But the war never truly ended. Want more stories like this? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our story, because this is just getting started.